Hi, this is Israr Hussain with you from Superior University, Lahore. Today, we shall discuss about research methodologies which were used in our research papers or thesis. So, this is also a chapter 3 in or section 3 in research thesis and research or in term paper. So here are some kind of books which are written over here for further reference. One of them is very famous book of Brian, Business Research Methods, and the other one is Research Methods for Business Students. The third one is Research Methods for Business from Umas Karan. So let's go forward for the first slide of our lecture, which is research methodology and nature, or you can say nature of research. Here are two type of research are mentioned as one is qualitative nature of research and the other one is quantitative research nature of research. When you are going to write your thesis, you will discuss that what type of your thesis nature. This is very important when you are conducting survey-based research for your thesis or your term paper. Either your research is qualitative or quantitative, or what makes it make your research qualitative or make your research quantitative. So this is very important uh, about your study. You should be very clear. Either you are going to conduct quantitative research analysis or you are going to conduct qualitative analysis. Then in next slide, we shall discuss about the contents of methodology. This is very important contents which is used in term paper or thesis. As I earlier said that for thesis, there will be different research methodology, and for term paper, there will be different research methodology. In you can say in research paper, you write about this in research paper, you write about 2 to 3 pages, or 2 pages are enough for research methodology. But in thesis, you will discuss in brief about 10 to 15 pages of research methodology. First of all, we shall discuss about it regarding the thesis point of view, what methodology will contains regarding thesis point of view. It is not mandatory that the sequence will be same. There can be few headings or less headings, or some of these headings may include out of some out of these headings. Like let's discuss some contents which is based on research philosophy, research approach, research strategies, operationalization or operation of variables, target population, sampling techniques, sample size, unit of analysis, data collection, measures, pilot study, demographic graphic profile, and data processing analysis. Now we shall discuss one by one all of these contents. This will be the general idea of methodology. In research methodology, you need to tell that this research philosophy will used in the dissertation and why you are using this philosophy. What is the myth behind using this philosophy or methodology in your research paper? One important thing is that we follow the positivism in research philosophy, especially in business. This why is having a key role in research, as many when you are giving defense of your thesis. Mostly researchers or professors ask you why you use this philosophy, why you use this approach, why you use this strategy in your term paper. So that's why this why is having a very important role in your research. Your whole research study is based on the question, why. Thesis is all about why, and defense is also about why. You will be asked on every step of your research why you use this, why you use that, why you are doing this, why this approach, and why this questionnaire is being used, why you choose this topic, etc, blah blah blah. So for every why, you need to prepare a valid answer in your research or in your thesis. As we know that there are two types of philosophies exist. Number one is positivism and the other one is interpretivism. So you will explain which methodology you used in your research paper, which approach you used, either it is deductive or inductive approach. What is the myth behind this approach? So you will describe that in your research, these methods will be used and this approach will illustrate better to your research. You will also describe about philosophy in 1 or 2 lines. Then you will also discuss about the research strategies, either it is survey method or interview method. Then what is research design will be. Either it is quantitative research methodology or quantitative. You will discuss your research. Research will be based on survey methods or cross-sectional research or panel research. All this stuff will be discussed in your research. This is basically all about research onion, which earlier we discussed in our previous lecture. Then we shall look into the phenomena in the more realistic way, as we are discussing now, or these headings separately. In research only we discuss only few or shortly, but now we are discussing these contents in briefly. Now we shall discuss about research strategies. We shall discuss that which strategy and research design will be used. For example, survey. If survey, then what will be the design of your survey? And questionnaire will be, what type of questionnaire will be used? It can be longitudinal or cross-sectional. In some journal or some thesis requirement, you need to tell about the operationalization of your variable. Some researchers discuss it in chapter 1 and some illustrate in chapter 3. This is different from the literature review definition. This is about how you define your research variable. For example, job performance or job satisfaction. You will describe which definition is used for which variable and why that definition has been used for particular variable, and how it is compulsory. Sometimes it is defined, its definition is written in methodology, and usually it is written in chapter 1 with definition of key terms. Then is the target population, which target population is related which people or population you have targeted. For example, if we want to collect the hotels or hotels customer data, then we can say that customer of 4-star hotels or 3-star or 5-star hotels in Pakistan or in Punjab, in the population section. In 1 or 2 lines, you will illustrate the population. If we are conducting research on banks, then we shall discuss the managerial employees. For example, the staff of banking sector, etc, or same like that. If you are working on green HRM, you may collect the data from HR officers or HR managers. So the target population will be different. If you are collecting data from customer, then you will tell about customer population. If the data is collected from hotel employees, then you will discuss that we collect the data from hotel employees. If you are collecting data from nurses, then you will also describe that the data was collected from nurses in private or public hospitals. You will also describe that why you choose this target population in your research, and you why you did not took the data from employees or from customers. There is also diet type of data collection in which you will not only collect the data from customer but also from the employees. This is also called couple or pair or diet data. So you will write very clearly. You can not write the sample employees of Punjab. uh, then how we'll come to know what type of employees, which employees of Punjab and which department or which city the employees belongs to. You will discuss in details. For example, if managerial staff of private bank you have chosen as a sample, you will discuss managerial staff of private banks in Lahore or in Punjab or in public banks or private banks. Sampling techniques is there. Sampling techniques are very important in research, which in which sampling techniques you have used in your research paper. There are different type of sampling. For example, probability sampling and non-probability sampling. We shall also discuss sampling techniques in separate lecture in coming days. In few next lecture, maybe we shall discuss about sampling collection. Sampling means select some people from your population. What is the sample size? How we decide about the sample size that we shall use in our sample size, and what is the formula used for sample size, and who defined that formula, and you need also code the reference of that particular formula. If population is known, how you will calculate the population size. And if the population is unknown, then what will be the method? These are the important things which mostly research students don't know. And the next thing is unit of analysis. Unit of analysis means on which population you are going to conduct analysis. Are you collecting the data from an individual or organization as a unit of analysis? Means which means you are going to collect the data from single company member, or data is collected from company owner. So you may say that from 200 or 300 companies, 300 questionnaires were filled. So now your unit of analysis is an organization, not an individual. If you are collecting one survey or you fill one survey from CEO or director of the company, you can say that there were 900 companies and you selected only 400 companies out of them as unit of analysis. Same like that, your unit of analysis can be a country as well. From each country, president or prime minister, you conduct interview. If you conduct interview, you can say that your unit of analysis is a country. If secondary data research is being conducted, then you can say that your unit of analysis is a country. Countries, country or SAARC country, suppose a group of countries like SAARC or European countries or Gulf countries. So unit of analysis can be individual, organization, or a country. Diet can also be a unit of analysis as a questionnaire which is filled by two people. For example, some of the variable answers are collected by one person, and some of the variable answer is collected by the other persons. So in this type of analysis, the unit of analysis will be group or two people. For example, husband and wife, student and teacher, patient and doctor, etc. For example, big data and customer experience. So customer experience data will be collected from customer and the big data will be collected from the company, which means data is being collected from customer and the data is being collected from the uh, customer as well as from the company, or you can say data is collected from two people. So there is unit of analysis will be died mean couple, as I earlier said. So from all the above discussion, we may say that unit of analysis can be four types. It can be number one, it can be individual. Number two, it can be died or couple. It can be country. It can be organization, and it can also be a culture. You collect the data from each culture. Normally, individual unit of analysis is mostly used in research. Then is data collection. Data collection and procedures are basically same, in which you will describe how you collect the data. It is secondary data or primary data. Uh, from this, from which website you use or you download this data, and which proxy you used, and for the measures, which type of measures you use. The primary data researcher will also illustrate that this was the sector, in other words, which sector you used, and how do you contact for the collection of data. You went there, or you fill questionnaire by phone or by email, or you use Amazon services. So you will write a paragraph about procedure. Measures are very important. How you conduct the measures, for example, if we have measure the GDP, then how we measure it, with which process or proxy or formula is used. The primary data research will describe that for this variable you have used this scale, for which was related to your question. The measure headings in your questionnaire is in your variable basic is in your variable is basically in which you told that this scale was copied from, or you have taken from the previous researcher, and there were four number of question or five number of question in each variable. So in measures, you will give your questionnaire information. Each variable was consisting on how many questionnaire, and their scale was used from which previous research. Pilot study, as its name is very clear, that pilot study is a testing of the questionnaire before conducting the main study or the final study, which may also called mini study, in which we collect the data from few people and check it either we are collecting the right data or not. Suppose you collect 1000 survey data from 1000 people, then you realize that your whole data is not relevant to the study. So your uh, time your the time you spend, the money you spend, all gone wasted. 30 in pilot study, you conduct 30 or 50 responses or sample size, which is normally used for pilot study or a mini study or mini project before main study is known as pilot study. If we have conducted if we have conducted pilot study, then we shall mention it in our research or thesis or research paper, if that we have conducted a pilot study before conducting the main study. If you have not conducted the pilot study, you have no need to discuss it in your research, that you did not conduct the pilot study. Demographic profiles are as it is showing that 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 may also discuss the method in methodology, or sometimes you discuss it in analysis. In a research paper, you will describe it in methodology. In thesis, you will discuss it in analysis. You will tell that what the profile of the unit of analysis was, what was the gender, either it was male or female, what was the area, either city or town or province, what was the educational level or income level, etc. So these are the some kind of headings which we used in our thesis. It is not compulsory that the same headings will be used. It may be different from exam it may be different from all these. For example, pilot study may be used or may not be used in your research.